Okay, in the previous video, we built the contract, we added all the configurations. In this case, we configured the NFT supply, we configured the NFT base URI, we configured the token name, we configured the collection name. Everything is already done on the contract. However, we don't have NFTs. Right? We need to upload the NFTs out to IPFS so we can then go ahead and upload our metadata and our NFT images. So then we can mint the contract and point the base URI to the metadata path. Why? Because once the user mints an NFT out of the collection, the token ID will be appended to .json. If you remember on the previous video, the .json file is the metadata file. Why this is so important? It's because inside the metadata file, it's going to host an IPFS URL or path to the actual picture. Because we need to tell the token where to extract the picture from or where to look for the NFT image, right? So we need to provide that information. First thing we have to do, we have to deploy IPFS on our machine. So here's the trick with IPFS. In order for us to pin images or pin files into IPFS, pinning means that your node, your local IPFS node on the IPFS blockchain or network will host those files. We want the files to be always available, right? The problem is you usually shut down your machine, right? You upload the files, but you shut down your machine. If your local node is shut down after a certain period of time and those images are not hosted on IPFS, IPFS will do a cleanup, meaning that it's a normal procedure, so IPFS maintains consistency. So you don't want that. So you got two options. If you have the infrastructure to host your own always on, always active IPFS server, then perfect. You can host an IPFS node and then host the files and have a local pinning option. I'll do that because we're gonna do it in this demonstration. Else, I would strongly recommend to do a gateway or pinning service such as Pinata. Pinata is a great cloud or public internet gateway service that you can actually upload your NFTs and host the metadata and the NFT so the users have access to their images, right? So that's very important. So first things first, what we're gonna do, we are going to go over the IPFS setup. It's very simple. And then we're gonna go ahead and discuss the metadata file. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so the first thing we want to do, this is very important. Let's build two folders, right? So I got this folder called NFT Collection, but inside this folder, I created two folders. So what I want you to do is create two folders. One folder called metadata, another folder called art. The metadata folder obviously is gonna hold the metadata files. The art folder, it's gonna hold the NFT files, in this case, the PNG. So let me open, I got some demo NFT images or art that I just, grab online. We're going to mint this on a testnet, meaning that I am not going to be in any sort of copyright infringement. I will definitely not sell something that doesn't belong to me. So in this case, I am just grabbing this for this demonstration, but keep in mind this is being deployed on a testnet. It's not going to be built in the ERC mainnet, so people can actually buy it. So I just want to make that clear. So those are my NFT files. So I decided to grab like 11, some sort of lady character. And there's different attributes. So the reason why I grabbed those, it's because each one has a unique attribute, right? What we want to do with this is we want to build a metadata file for each one with specific attributes, right? Because we want to show those properties. Once we mint the smart contract, we should go to a marketplace such as OpenSea and see our contract and be able to see not only the NFT, but also their properties listed. And I am going to share that file with you, so you have the opportunity to just fill the blanks. Okay, so you don't need to worry about like building the whole metadata file from scratch. I'm going to give this to you. You should see it on the link below in this video Just grab the file, update it, and you can use that to add attributes to your NFT, okay? All right, awesome. So I showed you our 11 NFT collection that we are minting on a test net. So we're gonna be minting this smart contract with the contract that we just built on the previous video, okay? Okay, so with that said, let me show you now the metadata file, which is very important. Here we go. Awesome. Okay, so what do we have? We have the name of the NFT collection, okay? And we have NFT and then the number. So each NFT, obviously NFT 1, NFT 2, NFT 3, you just need to update that. There's quite a few good videos on YouTube that you can follow to automate this. Let's say you want to build a massive collection, you know, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 NFTs. You don't want to build 3,000 metadata files one by one. You're never going to end, right? So there's ways to automate this. I suggest you just do a quick YouTube search, and you should see how to automate and create a massive NFT collection. Okay. For in our case, because we only have 11, we can just manually add this. Okay. Okay. So NFT collection. So in this case, we said that our NFT collection name is net2dev NFT collection. So we just need to make sure that that's on the metadata. So let's go ahead in the metadata. net2dev. Okay. And this is our first NFT. This on the description, we just add the description of the NFT collection. So in this case, net2dev, our first Web3 dApp NFT collection. Okay, this information will be shown in the OpenSea Marketplace description section of your collection. So make sure that you put something that is relevant, okay? Image. All right, so we are getting into the IPFS aspect of the NFT deployment or the NFT hosting. So we need to install IPFS. So what you want to do is you want to go online into IPFS. So let's go online. I'll grab my browser. And we just hit IPFS, right? So once you hit ipfs.io, I'll leave the link on the description. We want to go to install, and then you want to download desktop. You can go command line if you want to go CLI, which I love CLI. I rather do CLI than GUI. But for this demonstration, so everyone is comfortable, let's install a desktop. So we are just going to click desktop, and then we scroll down. And we want to download if you have a Mac, Linux, or Windows. I am running on Windows right now, so I'm just going to grab this one. You save it, install it like any other software, and then open it. So once we're ready, we want to open the IPFS. And this is how it's going to look like. Very important. Windows in particular, the firewall will block inbound traffic. So you got to make sure that you're allowing communication inbound. But not only that, you should, if you don't know networking, I will cover a separate video just for IPFS, how IPFS communicates to nodes, because you need to do what is called a port forwarding or an inbound NAT. What is that? That is because IPFS, the moment you talk out to IPFS, IPFS will grab your public IP, right? It's going to grab your public IP, and then it's going to tell all the other nodes, hey, I got another node, communicate to that node. The problem is your machine does not have a public IP. Your WAN internet service, the IP address, it's on your router, and your machine, what it does, it translates from the private address on the machine to the public address. Don't worry, I'll do another video so you understand that. That's why I strongly recommend doing Pinata, because if you're not familiar with networking, it's going to be very hard for you to open this out to the internet, so then IPFS can communicate back in. In my case, I already did it because, again, I can do this here. But in your case, I would strongly recommend just go to Pinata and host the files there. Okay, but it's the same approach. Pinata, you're just gonna have a similar interface, and you just drop the files. Okay. Now, what we need to do. we need to do the following. First, we have to create each metadata file, because I need to create each metadata file. And what I'm going to do with this folder, I am going to go under Ipfs files and drop the metadata folder completely with all my metadata files inside. Listen carefully. The moment you add this file or this folder into Ipfs, you cannot make any changes. The moment you make a change, the path will change. And if the smart contract is not pointing to the right path, not a single end user will be able to open a picture, or will not be able to see the NFTs, nor is going to see the metadata, because that's how Ipfs guarantees integrity. No one can make changes to the NFT, and you don't want that, right? Because let's say you buy an NFT, and then then someone decides to upload something on the collection and changes the path, then you lose your NFT. So you don't want that to happen. That's why this is built this way. So you first have to stage absolutely everything, and the last thing you want to do is grab the folders and throw them in Ipfs. That's when you're done. Like literally, you built everything. Okay. So very important to know that. Okay. So let's go ahead and build the metadata files. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna build this one, but what I need to do first, check this out. I need to know the image path so I can build the metadata. So that means that my NFTs already have to be, ready to go on the image folder. I need to upload that to Ipfs because I need to generate the Ipfs path so I can then add that to the metadata file. So the first thing we want to do is we obviously need to have the NFTs ready. We go ahead and throw them on Ipfs, and I just threw them in Ipfs, and look what happened. It generated a CID. So a CID is basically the identifier in Ipfs to access the particular NFT folder. Okay. How do I know what the CID is? This is the actual value that I need to add into the metadata file. So then the wallet knows how to get to the picture. Very important. Okay, so how do we do that? So this is the folder. The moment I open this folder, I got all my NFTs inside, all the NFTs. Okay, what you want to do is you want to click, if this is the case in Ipfs, in Pinata you can do a similar approach, and we want to copy the SID. Click on copy. It's already copied. Let me go back to the metadata file. Now on the metadata file, you see the SID identifier placeholder. We want to paste the SID. I am effectively telling the metadata file, this is where the image for NFT number 1, it's hosted here, right? So if we go to the file, right, inside here, if we open this should be the picture. And there you go. That's the first picture. Okay. What's another way to confirm that this is correct? The other way that we can confirm that we are able to access the picture is by grabbing this, do not select base extension or the path or the protocol. In this case, Ipfs. Do not select the Ipfs protocol at the beginning of the address. Just select the SID all the way to PNG. Open a browser. Let me go ahead and open a browser. Okay. Now what you want to do is you want to type HTTPS //Ipfs.io, Ipfs, and you paste the SID /token ID.png. Press enter, and if everything works, boom, we got the NFT. That tells us that the NFT is already available in the Ipfs blockchain. So that's amazing. That's awesome. Okay. So let's go back. So now we effectively have the Ipfs. It's already set, right? Next, what we want to do, we want to add the properties, right? And I'm going to go over this briefly because this is related to just NFTs. We want to cover the Web3 in general, but I'm just going to tell you, hey, this is how I do it, right? How do I do it? So this first NFT, if you see it, it has, the background is like green. The head has like a flower, and the lips, kind of a turquoise. So this is the NFT. How do we find properties? Let's say the background is like greenish. So let's say the background is green. It has a rose neck. So we can say neck is rose. It has flowers, head has flowers, so we can use that as attributes. So let's, or properties. So let's go ahead there. And then background, we said it was green. The body, and we can change this trait type. So we can say, what else? Head, we can say head green. Let's go ahead and do that. Green as well. And finally, neck rows. Okay, let's just do that. Let's put this in caps. But why you want to put it in caps? Because this is the information that will be shown on in OpenSea, if for example, in the NFT marketplace. And the neck will be rows. Okay, so this is basically how you add attributes to the metadata file. Okay, the number one, I forgot to mention, the number one is the token ID. So you want to change this to be the token ID. So this will be NFT1. This is the picture for NFT1, and this is obviously edition 1. Okay. Also, you can say this unique collection, one of 1,000 NFTs available. So we will mint up to 1,000, right? And we just have 11 on this one, but we're gonna mint up to 1,000. Okay. Okay. So we got this. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pause the video. I'm gonna finish the other metadata file, and I'm gonna show you how all the metadata files look like. We will upload it to IPFS, and we'll modify the smart contract with the SID path or the base URI to point to the metadata, and we're ready to mint. Alrighty, 1 second, let me finish this and we'll be right back. Okay, so we have finished the last metadata file, file 11. I completed that, building that file. Something that I want to mention, this SID will not change, by the way. This is the same path for all the images. Why? Because we uploaded a folder and this is under a folder, right? So all the images are literally stored on the same SID. So the only thing that we had to populate was the token ID or the NFT ID .png, which is the image file. Okay, so this should be good to go. So if we go to our folder, now we have all the JSON metadata files. You see number 1.json, number 2, and very important, it has to follow this because this is how the smart contract will bind the NFT. Once someone mints the NFT, they're gonna bind that. The smart contract will issue the NFT appending the token ID, which in this case is the number 1, or if it's token 1, .json, right? And once the wallet opens the NFT and pulls the image points to 1.png. So it's very important to follow that standard, or else images will not show up. The metadata file will not be accessible. So make sure that you pay good attention to that. That's why I strongly recommend to mint using a testnet, so you can test and validate before actually paying gas fees in production. Okay, all right, cool. So we got all the NFTs here. I'm going to upload this to GitHub, and I will be sharing the link so you have the NFTs and the JSON for your demonstration. Okay, cool. All right, so with that said, now we are ready to upload the metadata folder. We uploaded the art folder because we needed that path, so then we update our metadata with the path to the image, right? So we had to upload first the images, the image folder, so that we can generate that SID, and then we can update the metadata file with that SID, or else we're not going to be able to update this. Cool, so now we're ready to go. So what we're going to do, let's bring IPFS. I am going to bring IPFS, and we are doing the same thing. We are, in this case, uploading the metadata folder. Boom, now we got a metadata folder, okay? Perfect. Now what we need one last thing, and it's to copy the SID of the metadata folder. So we go to the smart contract and we update the base URI. Remember? Okay, so if that's the case, let's go ahead, copy SID. Let's open our smart contract and let's go to the base URI and let's update that with the new value. Okay, so I'm just going to select all that and paste my new IPFS path. Make sure that you follow the standard, / the SID and then extension, which is IPFS : and then // Make sure that this is literally this, because again, once someone mints the token, if this is not properly formatted, they're not going to be able to access the metadata, and they're not going to be able to see the NFT, and you're going to have a very bad day. Okay, so now we're ready. The smart contract is ready to go. We can go ahead and mint the smart contract. For that, we're going to go to Remix, and we're going to mint the smart contract. So let's go ahead and let's work finally getting our NFT ERC721 Smart Contract live on the blockchain. Okay, so that was it. I cut this video short because I don't want to cram the IPFS aspect of NFTs and all the metadata and all that with the smart contract and minting, because it's too crowded. I want to get my videos as simple as possible for you guys so you can understand clearly and fast. So what I'm going to do on the next video, we are going to mint that NFT smart contract that we just built, and we are using Remix for that purpose so you can see how easy it is. Alrighty, so stick around. If you like my content, please subscribe, because that helps me a lot to continue developing this for you guys. Thank you so much for your support, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.